You're listening to the Bloodshed Baddies.
Bloop, 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 bloop. Bow, 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 bow.
Hi, I'm Lex,
And I'm Sam.
and we're the Bloodshed Baddies.
Woo, 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 woo.
And if you haven't guessed it, yes, we're doing 2 episodes in one day, and this is our second one.
Thank the holidays.
We literally just said tune in next week. Hi, I'm Lex.
So for hyper, and if I say words wrong, excuse us.
We're here and we're vibing.
Yes.
Okay, Sam, you gave me an idea.
Yay.
We gave 2 book recommendations last episode.
Yes.
So now I want to give 2 TV show recommendations.
You first, because you know I have nothing now.
I know, now that you're not on anything. They could be old TV shows.
Okay.
But I have 2 very good ones. One's an old one, one's a new one. One is a new one. The new one that I am suggesting it's called Stumble.
Ooh.
And it is on Peacock. And it is a cheerleading mockumentary series. So I made mom watch it when I was at her
I
house.
was going to say, did you watch this with mom? Because I'm pretty sure she told me
Yeah.
she said it's funny. It's like The Office
Yeah.
funny.
It's very much like The Office. It's about this cheer coach who is a 14-time national champion, and her coach, who she hated, was a 14-time national champion. She wants to win the 15th one so she could prove she was a better coach than her.
Cute.
And a video surfaced where she gave a cheerleader an award for best booty on her team. So she got fired. And then she goes to this school that they had a cheer team last year for the first time, but it was only one girl on it.
Aww.
And she has narcolepsy, so she just falls asleep in the middle of cheers.
This is so stupid. I need to watch it.
And it's so funny. It's so silly. And then one's an older show, but I'm watching it for the first time. Dustin introduced me to it, and it's called Vice Principals. It's on HBO, and it is also just that stupid funny. It's hilarious.
I want to say I've heard that before. All right, my 2 recommendations. One is what I was watching like before I lost all of my TV streaming services. But Abbott Elementary is so good. Funny, heartwarming.
Is there a new season of that?
I think they were coming out with one. Look it up.
Oh, it started in October.
Oh, I'm so sad.
And
right
it's
now.
still going. There's only 8 episodes out. Oh my God. I need to catch up.
And if anyone who ever worked in education in any capacity at all, it's like pretty dead on funny.
And that main girl, Quinta Brunson.
Oh, I love her.
She is so funny.
She's so funny. She's like so short and like wears these outfits that you're like, what the heck? But it's like so her. I just love it. I love it. And then my second one is kind of like a funny suggestion, but I'm like getting my husband into it right now, and like, don't let him tell you he's not into it. Gossip Girl.
Oh, Gossip Girl is the best of the best.
I'm trying to get him to love Chuck, but he's not there yet. We're only in season 2.
Season 1 Chuck is hard to love.
He's terrible.
Yeah, you gotta wait till
season 2 Chuck, he's warming.
Okay, yeah.
But guess who's, real quick, if you've never watched Gossip Girl, I'm sorry. Guess who Brandon's favorite character is right now?
Is it Chase?
No.
No, who is it?
Dorota.
Of course it's Dorota. That's not gonna change. Dorota's gonna be his favorite till the very end.
Dorota is literally the best. He's like, the only one I care about is Dorota. I'm like, good call.
I mean, she's in it for the long haul, Brando. You're gonna have to finish the series. She's there. Always cleaning up their messes.
Literally. But definitely, because maybe I'll get some new streaming services soon. I think we're working on it. Put your favorite TV shows in the comments or tell us so we have things to watch.
And also, when Sam says that she lost all her streaming services, all she means is that she was mooching off people on every single streaming service, and now they're not letting you have it in multiple households.
Okay, but can we talk about how crappy that is though? Because if someone pays for that and wants somebody else in multiple households to watch it, they should be able to.
It is crappy. I agree. But you're acting like something horrible happened to you guys. No, you were
That's
mooches.
true. It's very true. Sue me. But okay, you ready?
Ready.
So, Lex,
Okay.
you and the longtime listeners are going to be shocked that I'm doing a case like this.
Oh, really?
Because you know I hate them, especially based on last episode.
Oh, is this your first missing person? No, unsolved?
I was trying to think that. Did I do one before?
I can't remember.
I can't remember either, Betty. So possibly, yes, this is unsolved and a missing person case.
To us, it's the first one because we don't remember another one.
And apologies for two in a row, but the main reason I started looking into it is because the little brother Jakey requested it.
Hi, Jake. Hi, Pacey. Hi, little Rudy.
Hi, family. But it's honestly one that I think could possibly be on the cusp of solving. And one that is also so wild and chilling to me that it drew me like immediately into my crazy research era. And I knew I needed to share it.
Okay, wait. Does that mean that this is going to be a part two?
No.
Okay, okay.
Lexi's sitting back with fear in her eyeballs.
Not another part two. Every time you say crazy research, I'm like, oh.
Just when I dive in my deep black holes of research. But I'm going to talk about the chilling disappearance of Angela Hammond.
This name sounds familiar.
I was wondering if you knew it because you're like a missing person girly. Angela Hammond was born February 9th, 1971, to her parents, Marcia and Donald, in Kansas City, Missouri.
Those are like the most parent names ever. Marcia and Donald.
I know. And shout out the stupid Chiefs. So that's where they're from, right?
I think so.
They suck. But shortly after her birth, her parents moved to Clinton, Missouri. Clinton is a small town, and even as of 2020, the population is right around 9,000 people.
Oh, so like small.
Yes. It's known to be like this close-knit town, and Angela ends up going by the nickname Angie. So I'm going to start calling her Angie. I don't have much background, but she looked like a very, very kind, sweet, and beautiful person. Angie graduated from Montrose High School. She was active and outgoing and popular. She also was a shorty and was like 4'11" or 5 foot.
Wow.
She'd fit right into the fam.
Fit in better than me.
I know, better than us.
I'm a 5'4" giant.
Real quick, true story. Lex and I grew up thinking that we were tall because of that.
Very average height.
But in 1990, Angie starts dating Rob Schaefer, who I believe is a couple years younger than her. Angela is like 19 or 20 at this time, so Rob would be like 17 or 18.
Ugh.
Well, it's, like...
If it's the 17, ugh.
Yeah. But it would be like 17 or 19 or 18 or 20. You know what I mean? Like, and if they like went to high school, I get the apprehension. But if it's small town, they're right after high school, I don't think it's as ick. But Rob was a star athlete in high school and was looking forward to a career in the military. Woo, thank you, military people. Angie is working at a bank and also attending classes at Central Missouri State University in Warrensburg, Missouri.
Okay.
Now, not all the reports, so I want to make sure I say this because I don't know like how true it is, but most of the reports say that Angie was actually pregnant.
Oh.
And in January of 1991, Rob gave her a diamond ring and said he would always take care of her.
Oh.
What were you going to say about 1991, girl?
Oh, it's my birthday year. My birth year, my birthday year.
But by all accounts, they were both really excited for this journey. Their families were very excited. They ended up moving in together. So, like, things were serious.
Mm-hmm.
Reports say that they weren't sure if the diamond ring was, like, actually an engagement ring or, like, a promise ring. And again, like, she was possibly pregnant, 4 months pregnant around this time.
Okay.
Now, April 4th, 1991 will be the last day that Angie was seen. At this point, she is 20 years old and, like I said, allegedly 4 months pregnant. She was wearing a white button-down shirt with black spots. She paired it with black slacks and white sneakers. Again, she was a shorty, like 5 feet, and she had a darker blonde hair. Leading up to her disappearance, Angie was at a barbecue with Rob, I believe at her mother's house. At around 10 p.m., Angie dropped Rob off at his parents' house to watch his little brother, which was already like an agreed upon thing. Like, the parents were going out. They asked Rob, could you please watch the brother? They said after the barbecue, we'll drop him off. Angie and Rob did have plans to meet up later after his mom got home.
Okay.
So Angie drops Rob off and then goes and parks her car by the food barn store and gets picked up by a friend she had plans with. She told Rob she would give him a call a little bit later. So, like all youngins, sometimes your plan is just like driving around town, and that's basically what her and her friend did. They just got in the car and drove around.
Got it.
One account said that she got tired and decided to call it a night, and the same source said it was because she was 4 months pregnant and tired. So her friend drops her off, and she uses the payphone outside the food barn store where she parked to call Rob as promised. The food barn store is in the center of town in the area of Jefferson Street and 2nd, and just 7 blocks from Rob's parents' house. 7 blocks.
Okay.
So she calls Rob, and she's like, yeah, I'm just going to call it a night. You know, like, I don't want to stay out or do anything else. And they just start talking as young people in love do. And this call is around 11:15 p.m.
Okay. And she's at home now?
Her friend dropped her off at her car, and she's in front of the food barn, which is at the center of town, on a payphone.
Oh, on a pay. Oh my God. I forgot this was 1991. They didn't have cell phones. Sorry. This is why I'm so confused.
So she's at a payphone outside of town. Rob, I'm going to call it a night. I'm just tired. And then Angie mentions to Rob that there's a truck circling the block a few times.
No.
And she even goes as far as describing the vehicle. Most likely, you know, it's freaking her out a little bit. Like, you're walking in a parking lot alone. You're like, oh, there's this man and, you know, whatever. But she tells Rob the car is an older model green Ford pickup truck with a decal on the back of it, which was like a fish jumping out of water. Very specific, very detailed.
Yeah. Good on her. She's a true crime girly.
Yes.
She's
Smart.
like, something feels wrong. I'm giving you every detail possible in case something happens.
Yes. And Rob is like, because this is like the center of town. So Rob is like, well, maybe they aren't really familiar with the area, which is like fair. They're like looking for something and they're like taking blocks. Angie seems unconcerned after that, but then the truck parks by the payphone.
Nope.
And Angie mentions this to Rob. According to Angie, the man got out of the car and appeared to use the payphone next to hers. She describes this man to Rob. Angie said he was a filthy bearded man with glasses and overalls on.
Ew.
Yeah. Basically, she's on the phone with someone. She's stressed out. She's explaining her surroundings to Rob to be like, I'm stressed out. I need to talk about this, you know?
Yeah. Help.
Yes, basically. After this man uses the payphone, he went back into his truck and looked at something with a flashlight. Angie even described the flashlight to Rob.
Wow, this girl is really doing the most.
Yes.
I can't believe this case is unsolved right now. Based on all these descriptions, I cannot believe this case is unsolved.
And if she's going as far as doing all that, you can tell she's worried.
Yes.
So Rob on the phone is like, well, maybe the other phone is broken. Like, maybe ask him if he needs to use the phone you're using. So Angie does this on the phone with Rob and is like, hey, do you need to use this phone? Like, is that phone broken? And the man's like, no, I'll try again in a minute. So Angie and Rob start talking about other things. They continue their conversation. And it seems like she's still aware, but like not super worried about it. And that is when Rob hears Angie scream through the phone.
No,
I
no.
have chills.
He's 7 blocks. I'd be like
Yes.
freaking running down the street with my brother if I was still babysitting.
Well, one, can you imagine how chilling that must be?
No, no, that's terrifying. Especially she's literally being like, I'm scared of this man. I have this bad feeling. Here's what he looks like. Here's what his car looks like. Here's what he's doing. I just had an interaction with him on the phone with you. And then all of a sudden you hear scream. No, no.
Yep. And then after he hears the scream, Rob hears the man say, I didn't need to use the phone anyway, which like is very disturbing.
Oh my God. My mouth is a perfect O right now. Oh my God. I forgot I wasn't talking. I was just had my mouth open.
But like you said, you'd be like booking it out of the house. Rob immediately runs out of the house to get in his car and drive the 7 blocks to the phone booth. So much so he doesn't even hang up the phone. He literally just like runs out. Now, this is like something you would see in a scary movie, but as he's driving towards the payphone, a pickup truck speeds past him in the other
No.
direction.
Fucking flip it. Flip it, Yui. Go after him.
And he hears someone, most likely Angie, yelling, Robbie.
No, this is literally this. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is horrible.
Terrible.
Do you flip a Yui and chase him, or do you get out and call the police on the payphone? What's the better option? I don't know.
Isn't there a song like that?
What?
Isn't that a song?
What?
Maybe
Flip a
not.
Yui or call the police on the payphone?
What's the better option? I might just be overtired. Ignore me.
Flip a Yui or call on the payphone.
Option.
Oh yeah, that song.
Anyway, exactly though, Lexi. And this car was exactly the car Angie described. It was a 1960s or early 1970s model green Ford F-150 pickup truck with the fish decal on the back.
So what does Rob choose to do? Rob?
Rob.
Is that his name? Okay. Yeah. That was the guy in my story too. So I was like, am I making that up?
Oh my God, it was. I just realized that.
Yeah.
Rob also noticed the truck possibly had a white top and there was some damage to the left fender. So we're getting even more specifics about this car. But Rob decides to immediately turn his vehicle around and start chasing the pickup truck.
Okay, Rob. Okay.
He was actually able to chase it for a bit, but when he quickly turned around like that and put the car in reverse, he severely damaged his transmission. And while he was chasing the truck, his transmission ends up failing.
Oh my God. So I guess maybe the payphone was the right option.
And Rob has to
I
watch
don't
the
know.
truck drive away with his pregnant fiance.
This is I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight.
And like you said, there's no cell phones back then. So Rob has to flag down another car and they go to the police department. And around midnight, he reports his Angie missing.
Oh my God. Wait. Oh yeah. So 45 minutes after the first call.
Yep.
He's 45 minutes after she made that call. She has described this person in entirety, had an interaction. He has followed her. His transmission failed, and he's called the police at this point.
Yes. Quick.
Oh my God.
So police obviously go to the scene of the crime, and Angie's car is in fact to the payphone. Her purse is on the seat of her car. Her keys and license are the only things missing. This wouldn't be weird because she safely took her keys in the phone booth with her. According to her dad, I believe, she was known to keep her license in the pocket of her pants, so it would have been with her.
Mm-hmm.
But through this, police are like, burglary isn't the motive here because the wallet and everything else is on the car seat.
Yes.
On Sunday, around 250 people searched the surroundings. Her parents continued searching basically all day, every day, and police searched not only by land, but also air. There is no sign of Angie and no sign of this very specific pickup truck.
That doesn't even seem like real life.
I know.
How far could it have gotten?
The biggest hope of the police officers was locating this pickup truck. And according to the Clinton Police Department, they had some assistance from the Missouri State Police to do a computer search on all registered vehicles. So vehicles in the system,
This is crazy in 1991. Like, can you
right?
imagine a computer search in 1991? That could not be good.
Yeah.
Why did you sound like a donkey?
That's how the computers would start up. Remember? Get off the
Yeah,
phone. I'm
no,
trying to use the computer.
I know exactly what you're doing, but it's got really donkey in there.
It did. It did. It was a little influenced by donkeys. Anyway, through this search, they were able to find 1,600 possibilities, 1,600 possibilities. But none of these trucks had this fish mural on the back, and none of these trucks were a match. Which is so wild to me. Like, I know it could have been a non registered car, but it's like so specific. How are there no matches?
Also, like, maybe the fish sticker was put on after.
Yeah, they could have taken it off and stuff too.
Like, I'm just.
No, you're right. Now, with Rob being the only witness and no witnesses to back up the story, and being the fiance, of course, Rob becomes a suspect. And on April 11th, he interviews with the police for, I think, like 5 hours. They also interviewed Angie's ex for about 3 hours. I believe Rob was also given a polygraph, but within a week, Rob and the ex are cleared.
Oh, thank God. I was like, if you're going to throw my boy Robbie under the bus after he witnessed all that stuff, we going to have fighting words.
Now, Rob passed the polygraph, and his story seemed to check out, especially when 3 witnesses came forward reporting seeing a Caucasian male driving a similar truck near the phone booth during the time of Angie's disappearance. 2 witnesses said they actually saw Angie and the man at the phone booth because they thought Angie was their friend. So they pulled in the parking lot to be like, hey, what up? And like realized it wasn't their friend. But when they pulled in the parking lot, they realized there was a man in the parking lot too. So like that's how it was notable for them. Angie's mom was like, I get why Rob was suspected, but like she never suspected for 1 second that he would do this. She knew him since he was little. She even says like no one blames Rob except for himself about the car situation because he basically did every single thing that he could.
Mm-hmm.
Now, shortly later, police say that they believe there is or could be a connection with Angela's case and 2 other unsolved cases that occurred within 100 miles of Clinton, Missouri. The first unsolved case happened on January 19th, 1991, 3 months before Angie's, and near Max Creek, Missouri, which is roughly around 70 miles away from Clinton.
Okay.
On this day, 42-year-old Trudy Darby was working alone in a convenience store. Around 10 p.m., she actually called her son because there were 2 super sus men like loitering around outside. And her son was like, yes, I'll drive right up and sit with you the rest of your shift, which is like so sweet. He gets to the store in 10 minutes and the store is completely deserted.
This is very similar. It happened so fast.
His mother's jacket and purse is left behind. Also chilling, the cash register was open and $200 was missing. So unlike Angie's case, this appeared to look like a robbery.
But why take the woman if it's just a robbery?
Yeah. Also, 2 days after her disappearance, the police end up finding Trudy, fatally shot twice in the head, 10 miles from the store on a riverbank.
Oh my God.
Trudy was also sexually assaulted and abused.
That's gross.
Now, jumping ahead, this case was actually solved in 1995. So in May of 1995, half-brothers Jesse Rush, who was 20, and Marvin Cheney, who was 34, were arrested and charged with Trudy's murder. That same night of her murder, they were actually stopped by the police for speeding. Jesse Rush actually told 3 of his friends about the murder, and in 1993, one of those friends contacted the police about it.
Thank you. This is what we ask people to do every time we get these things where your friend says that you are going to murder somebody or you did murder somebody, and everybody's like, ha, 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 ha. Thank God for this guy.
Literally. This friend was then able to catch it on tape for the police, which led to arrest.
Look at him go.
Yes.
A+ work. Also, me and my half brother going to go around raping and killing people? That's disgusting.
Yeah. Jesse continued admitting to Trudy's murder while in jail, and in his confession, him and his brother went there with the intention to rob and abduct Trudy. They then raped her and shot her. They took her to the riverbank and realized she was still alive and shot her again. Just brutal and
This
disgusting.
just makes me so sad because like all these women are in a situation that they know is bad and they're calling men to be like, hey, I'm not in a good situation right now. And the fact that we have to worry about that literally constantly as women is just so sad.
Yes, 1010%. The half brother Cheney denied being involved and said he was home alone with his wife.
He has a wife.
And initially, the wife supported this alibi, but then she changed her mind and said she lied because she was afraid of him, which makes sense.
Duh.
Yes.
If that was my husband, I'd be afraid too.
Yes. Both ended up being sentenced to life in prison. Now, from the start and knowing the ending, I truthfully don't really think these two are connected, but you kind of said you did. Do you still think that?
Um, I feel like this man would have bragged about the other one too. He's bragging to everybody about this lady he's murdering.
And it is interesting to note that in a letter to another inmate, Jesse Rush mentioned dumping the bodies of two other women in a remote location. And these alleged bodies were never found. So it is possible that maybe Angelo
Ooh.
was one of the victims.
What kind of car did they have at the time? That's what I'm interested in.
That is a great question that I do not know the answer to. It says there it's not public record.
Uh,
Okay, anyway. The other unsolved case they believed to be linked was 30-year-old Cheryl Ann Kenny. Cheryl was married and had two young children and two other children through a blended family. She was reported missing a month after Trudy from Nevada, Missouri, about 70 miles from where Trudy's body was found. On February 27th, 1991, she also vanished from a convenience store when she was closing up where she worked. She closed up early at 10 p.m. that night and set the alarm at 10:17 p.m. There seemed to be no struggle and nothing missing. A couple days later, people reported that they did hear screams, but thought it was a domestic abuse situation as there was a bar across the street, so like somewhat common to hear like arguing and fighting.
I get that, but still, like maybe if we think it's a domestic abuse situation, we still call the police.
Yes. Cheryl appeared to just have vanished. Initially, police thought maybe she left on her own because her mother had just passed away, and they thought maybe she wanted to get away from it all. But she only had $6 on her and would never have left her husband and children or her father, who was sick at the time. To me, this case seems more like Angela's. However, odd that it was also at a convenience store like Trudy. So I think arguably you could link her disappearance to both cases, but Angie's and Trudy's cases still seem like a little bit of a stretch to me. But since Angie was abducted shortly after Cheryl, police believe they are linked, even though there is still no hard evidence of this. There's also a serial killer out there named Kenneth McDuff, who was later investigated in connection to all three of these cases because he committed murders around the area that all three of these women were last seen alive. However, there is no solid evidence between him and them, and it is unknown if he is still considered a suspect today.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like they always though, if there's like a serial killer in the area during that time, they're always just like, maybe it was this guy, because it's easy to just like pile them on, I guess.
For sure. In mid-April 1991, the Missouri Rural Crime Squad came in to help with finding the truck, but for some reason they only have like 5 days to find something, and then they have to pack up and go somewhere else, which is like weird.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they found nothing. By October, investigators were like, we investigated all leads and unfortunately still have nothing. In December of 1991, a man named Russell Smith from Canada comes forward and says that he saw Angie in a drugstore in September. He saw her getting into a green truck. Russell says he is certain it was Angie. Now, this lead cannot be confirmed and unfortunately doesn't pan out, but oddly enough, there are other unconfirmed signs of Angie in certain states and throughout Canada. So is it possible he really saw Angie? Who knows?
I feel like the sightings are always not reliable.
Tricky.
Yeah.
Hope that more leads may come to light is restored when Unsolved Mysteries does an episode on Angie's case. A lot of people will say the recap was one of the most chilling they have ever seen on this show. Now, like 700 people call in with leads, and investigators comb through them all, but nothing is substantial.
Oh my God. I want to watch the episode of Unsolved Mysteries now. Did you watch it?
Yeah, it's really good. It honestly is really chilling. I watched the first one because there's two.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In fall of 1992, Janice McCall, the mother of missing 18-year-old Stacy McCall, who is one of the Springfield Three, which is an insane case that I think one of us should cover one day, maybe you, Lexi. So I won't go into much detail. It's my request to you.
Okay, I'll add it to the list.
But she gets in contact with Angie's mom. And at first, Angie's mom is like, I don't want to talk to her because that makes it too real that like my child is also missing.
Mm-hmm.
But they end up talking and appear on Oprah together and try to get more information out on both their daughters' cases. In April 1993, another search for Angie was conducted, kind of because of a psychic, surprisingly, and like the more media attention now that it was like on Oprah and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Police are like, we really don't believe in psychics, but with all the rumors, they're like, fine, we'll listen, we'll try it out. But basically, the psychic led police to a farm that police actually interviewed the owner in the beginning of the investigation of this farm.
Ooh.
Yeah. The police interviewed this man because they received information that an abandoned truck was on this farm. But it was a blue Chevy and not a green Ford, so the trucks didn't match. Now, the psychic claimed Angie was there for like 6 months and then moved. Police go back there with 5 cadaver dogs and like 20 officers, but they find nothing. And there's zero evidence. So, again, a bad lead that led nowhere.
Oh, this poor man too, that like all of a sudden you're in the middle of this murder investigation when you probably have literally nothing to do with it.
Yes. In June of 1995, so a little over 4 years after her disappearance, a man in Iowa calls in and says he actually sat by Angie in church and she was there with her daughter. He alleges that she told him that she wants police to stop looking for her. But although people in church were like, yeah, he was sitting by a woman, no one could confirm it was in fact Angie. And police are like, okay, this is incredible.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Like you're literally screaming down the street, Robbie, Robbie, and then all of a sudden you have a baby and you're like, stop looking for me. I'm fine. No, this man is just trying to get attention.
It didn't seem very plausible, my thoughts. Then there's almost nothing, no updates on this case for the next 25 years.
25?
Yes. But in 2021, on the 30th anniversary of Angie's disappearance, new details were provided to the public that could be really helpful in cracking this case.
What?
The police make a Facebook post that will be linked. But this post, they say that they are working on a theory that originates in the Lake Ozarks region that the disappearance of Angela Hammond could actually be a case of mistaken identity.
What? Explain this to me. Explain this to me. I don't understand.
They believe Angie was mistaken for another woman who was being targeted in the aftermath of her father's legal affairs.
Oh, like they were trying to abduct somebody and Angie just happened to look like them.
Yeah. So the father acted as an informant in a narcotics case, and after his identity was disclosed during the case, he received a cryptic note composed of cut and paste letters about the life
Ew.
of his daughter. It's on the Facebook post, and Lex, I'm going to send you a picture of it now just so you can see.
Yes, please.
Hold on. And while she's looking at that, baddies, I'll tell you about the letter. All right, you got it?
Oh, this is creepy.
Yeah, first, how creepy. So the wife's name and the informant number was blacked out on the post for privacy. But it reads, hello number blank, which would be that informant number. We know who you are, number blank. People like you deserve what you get. We know where your foxy daughter is at. She will see us soon. Tell your wife's name. She has our deepest sympathy in her future loss.
Ew, I hate that goodbye doesn't have the E on it. That creeps me out. I don't know why.
But Lex, this note was sent April 4th, 1991, the exact day Angie was abducted.
Do we know what this guy's daughter looked like?
Also, the daughter's name was Angela, and allegedly they have very similar appearances.
Oh my God.
So police think that it's possible these two women were just mixed up, which is wild and makes me think like, did he go back in the truck with a flashlight and look at a picture like, ooh, they do look alike?
Yes. Yes.
Now, a few months before making the post, police received a phone call about this connection along with two names, and police believe it to be credible. This person did not provide a means for recontact, so the police in the post plead with the person to recontact the police and promise to assure their anonymity. But after this post, there has been no updates. So, Lex, before we end, what do you think is most probable of what happened?
Okay. So like honestly, I think a case of mistaken identity is like the furthest fetched thing that you could ever say about a case ever in your entire world. But there's a lot of coincidences on this one.
Yes, the letter going the same day they took her, the fact her name is also Angela, the fact that they look a lot alike.
And that it was the exact same day, I think.
Because I promise you, when I heard mistaken identity, I'm like, oh, come on. And then when I read everything, I'm like, oh no. Like, I think this literally could be it.
Oh my gosh. A lot of people in the comments still think it's the boyfriend, which doesn't make sense to me.
You guys, Rob, we think
Yeah.
he didn't do it.
This is weird.
So, is your number one you think might be mistaken identity?
I don't think it's my number one,
Okay, what's
but
your
I
number
think it's
one?
highly likely. I think it's highly likely that it was some creep driving around and saw a girl alone at the payphone.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the most likely, but I would not rule out the case of mistaken identity with just all the coincidences.
Isn't it crazy? But if anyone out there does have any information at all, big or small, they are urged to call the Clinton Police Department directly at 660-885-2679 or send an email to tips@clintonmopd.com. You can remain anonymous and both can be found in the show notes. But that is like the extremely chilling case of Angela Hammond.
I have one more question. Has this
Yeah.
guy like been that got this letter? Has he been like interviewed? Is there any information available to the public about like what he said about this note, what he said about the time that's
All the information I have is from that Facebook post. But he was that like number guy. He was a part of that narcotics case. He was the informant. It got leaked that he was the informant.
I kind of want to go down a rabbit hole with this.
See, this is a wild one. We had two really good wild ones in a row. I feel like.
Yeah, thanks, Jake.
Yeah, all things Jicky.
I feel like I mean everything is tragic and heavy and horrible, but I feel like the last two we've done have been like made me sick to my stomach. So these ones were a little bit, I don't know, not as graphic, I guess, since they're just missing
Yes.
people.
More intriguing. And then I will tell you on the docket bad days have something a little bit different planned for my next one. So if you're like me and you're like another missing person, well, it'll get better.
If you're like me and you're like, dude, all the missing people. But yeah, wow, that was interesting. I want to go down a rabbit hole. I also really, really want to watch the Unsolved Mysteries now.
I recommend everyone go watch it. It's the first one that's supposed to be like the most chilling reenactment. They did have it appear on another episode as well, and I think the first one I found it on YouTube or something. So super easy find.
Awesome.
It will be
Thank you
linked.
all. It'll be linked. Thank you so much for listening. Please give us a follow wherever you are listening to this podcast. Amazon Music is our biggest listener follows. So if you're on Amazon Music, hey,
What
hey.
up?
We are also on Instagram. I'm going to do it slow this time instead of fast. Instagram. TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Like us, comment on us, do us reviews, do us nice things, talk to us. Yeah, we want to talk to you.
You can also send us an email with a case suggestion or a story to bloodshedbaddies@gmail.com. You can also know for your knowledge that our intro music was made by the awesome cousin Vinny, who just came out with a new album. And you can tell your teacher and tune in next week for a Lex episode.
Boom, boom, boom. Done.